Censor. Starring Rob Pugh. Please welcome Rob Pugh.
Hey, Canada, how you feeling? Good. Right on. Just like me. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Let's start this show off right. This is my first comedy special. I'm very excited to be taping this because I can finally change my intro to "He just got back from nowhere." You might have seen him on Nothing. Please give it up for hanging on to a dream. So it's very exciting for me to be here, and it is 100% your pleasure. You're welcome. I've been doing comedy now for 11 years. I'm 30 years old, and I'm starting to wonder now if I've wasted my life. I spend my time in all of Canada's podunk, dog patch, hillbilly, backwoods, pieces of crap towns. Pull into every little shitty town Canada has to offer me, drop off my pallet of ha-ha, and it's brr, brr, off to Hamilton. Yes, I lived the life of a performer. It's glorious. I travel via the bus. That's not that funny. I'm poor. I catch the Greyhound from time to time to get to where I need to be, and it's always the most awkward time to catch a Greyhound if you've got to go over a border. And I don't know if anybody's ever had to do that, but it's a trying experience, to say the least, you know. They give you a quiz when you cross the border on a bus. And normally, I wouldn't think I'd have to cram to get on a bus, you know what I mean? I kind of figure that's why people are riding transit in the first place, you know? Because they never studied, right? All of a sudden now, right, I got this quiz in front of me, I'm sweating bullets, you know? I didn't bring a number 2 pencil. First question, straight out of the gates. Now, granted, America's going through some weird times, but this is a cagey question, to say the least. First question says, are you a terrorist? I mean, I'm no Mensa member here, but who are you hoping to catch? You think you're gonna catch a terrorist flat-footed? Like, I wasn't expecting a quiz. What are you going to put? Don't look at my paper. Well, I don't want to lie, because I fear my God may judge me, but I don't want this bomb to blow up in Canada. Oh, no. Because no one will care. It's the truth, Canada. I know it hurts a little bit, but we're the most apathetic nation on the planet. That's our #1 export, apathy. Most of us are intelligent to know if a bomb blows up in this country, the timer went off early. I give us 2 weeks of mourning if that happens before we slap up ribbon around the blast site, start selling donkey rides into ground zero with some tragically hit plane in a beer tent up top. Hit it, Gore. Kill a whale. Second question on the test, right after, are you a terrorist? Check this out. Huge leap in logic. Second question says, are you carrying any fruits or vegetables? This is the second biggest thing America's worried about, right behind terrorism. And I don't watch a lot of news, but that seems like it'd be further down the list to me. I'm standing at the border, guy's like, you tourist? I'm like, check out the quiz, Skeeter. All right, smartass. Well, before we let you go, boy, you got any produce you might want to tell us about? I just fuck with him now. I'm like, yeah, I got a zucchini, but guess where? Probably in the trunk, you know what I'm saying? Now, third and final question, coincidentally, this is the first test I've ever finished on time. Third and final question reads, are you carrying $10,000 in cash? Right? I start looking over my shoulder like, is this? You're looking for cameras? I'm being punked. Every fiber of my being not to look this customs official straight in his eye and be like, I don't know if you notice this, Columbo, but I rolled in on a fucking bus. 10 grand. It's a moxie on you, sure. Sure, I got 10 grand. Let me just key into my attaché hockey bag here. Oh, sorry, wrong key. I always do that. Oh, look, it's all open. Zip. Dirty undies. Big zucchini right there. Hey, look, $10,000 in cash. This kind of logic makes me think I can show up at the border with a turban on my head, a carrot in my hand, $10,000 in counterfeit bills, and watch this guy's head explode. Hey, we've got all three. I'm gonna need a manager down here. Yeah, I do travel a lot, man. I go down to the States quite a bit, and Americans catch quite a hard time everywhere I go in Canada. They catch a hard time, and for good reason sometimes, but I mean, they have idiots in the States just the same as we have idiots in Saskatchewan. Oh, if you're from Saskatchewan and you're offended by that, please leave. Get out of my life. Die on the way out, I don't care. Oh. Every time I go down to the States, though, I get treated like the ambassador for Canada. Whatever nightclub I'm slinging jokes at, you know. Some guy finds out I'm from Canada, inevitably, and comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you, Canada." How do you respond to something that stupid? Yes, it is I. Canada, what do you need? Yeah, I'm right here. Maple syrup, a mullet, perhaps a folded hockey team. I don't know. What do you... I get bugged by the same question every time I go down there, and it bothers me to no end. It's about the war all the time, and I don't know how to answer it, you know, because I just don't get involved. People are like, "Hey, Canada, about this war we're having over in the Iraq. How come you guys haven't sent your troop?" I'm the ambassador. I'm not taking that line down. I'm like, he's already there. You know Chad, right? Blue helmet, flip-flops. He's probably got a potato gun guarding a laundry closet somewhere. A lot of travels, man. That's what we do out here. I've been on the road for a long time now. That's it. That's what we do, on the road all the time, in hotel rooms, being lonely, shit. I watch a lot of adult features in hotel rooms, I'll tell you what. I watch porn so much in hotels, I've had towels get up and leave my room. If you throw one more load into me, I'm Terry, for Christ's sake. This is just gonna ball up. And I'm like, "Get out, the maid's bringing another one of you. You're disposable, get out!" It's lonely being out there on the road. It's hard on relationships, I'll tell you what. Not a lot of women like the idea of their love of their life being either broke, drunk, or gone. I'll tell you what. It's a hard sell, you ladies. last girl I was with was allergic to my stand-up career. Every time I go on the road, she'd break out and her heels would separate for the next hillbilly to come and plant his seed in her. I know it's a terrible disease. I don't know if anybody's ever been cheated on here before. My guess is probably it. Heartache makes you an adult, I think. You know, you see that hope bouncing around in kids' eyes, and you're like, you're too young. You know what I mean? When you see that dull and listless look, you're like, someone worth talking to. You know. Heartbreak was that hurdle for me. The love of my life, you know, she was a great woman. She was. And I went on the road for 6 weeks, finding my dream, carving out a path for old Bobby Pugh. I come home, and a couple days early, too, because, wow, I'm going to surprise her, you know? Women like surprises, right? So I come home, and there's an extra car in my parking lot. I'm like, hey, some friends are here expecting me. Well, some friends were there, all right. I got upstairs in my bedroom, and I found the love of my life being ridden hard by my weed dealer. Ouch! The two people I love most going at it like spider monkeys in my bed. I lost it. Guys, you ever lose to the point where you get all carnal and you feel your jaw slope out and your knuckles start to hit the floor? And biting into the kid's head like a cantaloupe. All that mental craziness just happens all up in here. It doesn't actually come out. You just break inside. You know? I was between a rock and a hard place. I can't go get mad at him now. You know what I mean? I'm confronting him right in front of me. I can't yell at him. I'm going to need him now. I can't get mad at her. How am I going to get mad at her? You know, yell? What's that going to do? Oh, I'm mad at you. You know? So I just let it be gone, you know? I got out of there, I started my new life, and I thought things were going to be all peachy keen. I was going to grow and get bigger and better. And then a little setback happened. I ran into the love of my life. I still obsessed about her hard. I ran into her with her upgrade, and ladies love to get upgrades. You leave a relationship and go and find a dude that had something that last asshole you were with never did. In my case, I'm a comic. That's not hard. Find a guy with a thick wallet and hope you're on your way. So I encountered these two people walking down the street, and it really got under me. He was a big dude, you know, a real big dude, dressed well, you know. And it started to hurt. I was like, man, wow, he's buff and good haircut, looked like he had some money on him. He had one of those keychains I could see in his pocket for the car that goes gloop, gloop. I was like, damn. And then I'm eyeballing this guy because he's my competition. I can't help it. I'm staring at him up and down. I can't help but notice. Giant hammer. Embossment through the pant leg, and this thing was so big it was reading my mind, okay? It was huge. My nose started bleeding, a fire started in the shrub. Point is, it broke my heart. Another man's penis broke my heart. I said it. It's out there, can't take it back. I wanted to hold on to this idea that I could rekindle an old romance. That was the most honest laugh I've ever heard. I did. I wanted to hold on to this idea that I could get back with this girl and make it happen. We could fall in love and be passionate again. But Not now, not after I've seen that man factory. After this guy's been in there wrecking shop. I'm imagining him, you know what I mean? I'm having crazy imaginations of this guy just on seeing the embossment. I'm picturing him with horns and a flute, hooves dancing around a fire. Johnson's feeding his mouth a Greek salad. How am I supposed to come around and clank inside her box like I'm calling people for dinner? You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. Oh, yeah. So it's interesting. Growing up and learning stuff, and I know a lot of people these days, it's a big thing to get out there and have kids and stuff. This last girl wanted to have kids. I don't have any of that in me at all. I don't want children. I don't like children. I don't like the word children. You get it. You know, she called me. I was in Fairview, Alberta, doing a horrible show. Paying money on a hotel phone to call long distance and have this conversation. She's like, I'd like to have 5 kids. Immediately, I started punching myself in the groin while saying, you better hurry. Because I don't want them, you know? I just don't want the little buggers in my life. I'll adopt a kid. If I gotta have a kid to be social and do the thing and be I'll adopt a baby. Give me Flood Baby 87. Give me one of those kids. I'm not even gonna change his name either. I'm gonna call him 87 for the rest of his life. 87 dinner. You know he's hungry. Mostly I'd adopt because you can have a certain lack of responsibility with an adopted kid that you can't have with your own. I know that sounds cruel, but it's true. Put yourself in the shoes. Okay, so you got an adopted kid. It's crazy, off the hinges, poking puppies with pins and stuff, being real demented, playing with roadkill. What are you gonna do? You can keep it? Fuck no. You can put it in the box and give it back. Poke air holes in the top. This one's broken. You know what I mean? Fragile. But you got your own kid doing stuff like that. Now you got to look inside. You got to look at you and go, I did this. I shouldn't have been doing drugs. That's not to say, I'm going to have to do the right thing one of these times. If a girl gets pregnant, I'm going to have to man up, rise to that occasion, and do the right thing. Push her down some stairs or something, because I am not ready to have kids. That shouldn't have been a surprise to you people, that joke. Oh, man. Well, let's bring some more sunshine to your life, shall we? Oh, I was talking about kids and how I don't want them. Because I don't. I did have a scare with a girl one time. We did have a little scare. Well, it only scared me. She wanted a kid. In my workshop late at night. How are we going to put an end to this? It's hard to bring up alternative methods. You can't talk about getting rid of the child. This is the worst word to say to a woman ever in history of words. It's such a problem. That word is so clinical and harsh, and you all know what I'm talking about. The word abortion is scary as shit. It's scary. It's clinical, and makes a lot of you feel a little pit in your stomach. So let's change the words so we can discuss this issue properly. How about baby be gone? Does that work for anybody? How about fetal Febreze? Does that work for you? Here's my beef. This is an issue that's super divisive. Splits people right down the middle, okay? Men and women right down the middle. Pro-life, pro-choice right down the middle. Scary. I think, as I don't have an opinion. I just think if we put our minds towards finding some sort of sound scientific method of being able to determine potential, Understand? Like, if we could look in through a lady's stomach with a microscope and see what the kid had tendencies to grow up to be, we might be able to get rid of some of these little assholes. Hear me out. He's hard at work one day. Imagine this scenario. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. I see. Looks like we have a country singer. Start the vacuum. It's the sound of his banjo grinding up in the fan. Hard day's work. Let's keep going. Oh, found a poet. Don't worry, he'll do it himself. Hard thing to talk about life's going to waste. It's a hard thing to talk about life and death with people because everybody's got their maybe some spiritual views, some religious views. Listen, I don't believe that anybody in this room has a right to live. There was no vote. You're here. It's a privilege to live. You know what I mean? It's your right to die, though. I hope so. I don't want to see all you people in 50 years. I don't want to see me in 50 years. You know what I mean? No one's got a right to life. When I talk about this in the case of that Shivo lady that was back a couple of years ago, and she was vegetative, and her family had this big discussion over whether or not they were going to pull the plug. Now, if I were ever in that situation, pull my plug. Don't even ask. Don't refer to the sheet. Don't do anything. Just treat me like a Pac-Man machine you're ripping out of a 7-Eleven. I'm no good to anybody here, you know what I mean? I don't want to have my big comeback finger movement, you know what I mean? A waste of your and mine life, you know what I mean? I'm so committed to that. In fact, if I have, like, something pops right now and I fall over and twitch for a second, then my eyes are darting around and looking for an answer, and one of you is somehow qualified to come up here and diagnose me as vegetable, kill me. Go ahead. Don't even take me to the hospital. Just open my mouth on the edge of the stage here. And even before I do it, if I have an involuntary muscle spasm that makes my mouth form the words, "Don't kill me," still kill me. Drugs, drugs, drugs. Some are good, some are bad. Drugs, drugs, drugs. Ask your mom, ask your dad. Some drugs are good, some drugs are horrible. I've done them all, I'll tell you about it. Marijuana is a good drug, you know? But a lot of hippies have these crazy, crazy ideas about it. Smoke too much weed, wrecks the brain, get knit hats and smell like patchouli. Get all these crazy ideas. They want to say, legalize the weed, man. Hey, man, legalize the weed. Put the doobie down. Have a think for a second, brother. You know what I mean? Legalization of weed means taxation. And I'm very comfortable with the price I pay for illegal dope right now. I don't need the government getting involved, putting some sales tax on my dime bags with some warning on the top says, too much marijuana inhalation will cause PlayStation thumb. Maybe an iridescent picture of some fat guy choking on chips. Chew your food. I'll give you a bad drug. Acid. Ouch! Acid, LSD, is a 16-hour high. That's entirely too long to be seeing things that aren't there. I did acid once for a week. Chasing a unicorn. Figuratively, I mean. I wanted to actually see a unicorn, or the big fuzzy purple monkey I hear about in everybody else's tales, or a dragon, maybe, or a little guy that tells me something on a countertop. None of that happened. Whole time I was on acid, the floor kept coming up. 16 hours, I'm walking uphill. That's a buzzkill. And of course, it's a hallucination, so I'm not really walking up a hill. The best I can describe my walking pattern to you is if you've ever gone up a flight of stairs in the dark and compensated for a step at the top that was never there. So you just step heavy and hard all the time. Hey, this acid's giving me shin splints. Another good drug, we'll give you a good one, is mushrooms. Terrific drug. It's terrific. Everybody should have to do mushrooms. I think everybody in the world should have to do mushrooms. Should be mandatory. We should all have to do them on the same day, too. What do you think about that? We'll call it World Peace Day. There's no fighting when you're watching a sand dune breathe, I'll tell you that. The only hook, the only snag I get on mushrooms is that every time I've done this drug, you know, I have one of these moments of clarity that I think is the most genius thing. Some little nugget will come into my head and I'll be like, whoa. I gotta write that down. I gotta write it down. It's a hard thing to write on mushrooms, too, because the paper's breathing. So you're like, little letter, big letter, little letter, big letter, little letter. Last time I did mushrooms, I wrote something down, and I put it on my nightstand to read in the morning. And then I woke up in the morning, read what I had written the night before, and I almost checked myself into an insane asylum. This is what my note said. This is my paper. December is a shitty month to be a pine tree. I don't know. I don't know how I'm walking and breathing. I don't know. Yeah, man, so I have a lot of fun in my life now. I just moved out to Toronto here from Vancouver City. And I notice a lot of similarities in big cities anywhere you go. People like to judge very quickly when they see you, you know? I'm in a grocery store, you know, once a week, if I'm lucky. And people still find the time to look into my grocery basket with those judgmental eyes and that sloped nose and just, you're a monster. You're not gonna eat that, are you? I'm out at one of these low-budge grocery stores the other day, and this guy in bike shorts and a little fanny pack gets all in the huff, sees me, skips across half the grocery store to block me, look at my basket. This cruddy look on his face. You're not gonna eat that tuna, are you? I'm like, I'm kind of thinking about it. It's in the basket, you know. Semi-committed here. Guys, well, you know what happens in the processing of tuna, don't you? And I'm like, well, I've got nothing but fucking time, I guess. Please, do tell. Kick him over a box of Tide. Hop up. Start sermonizing, you know? Guy starts spilling out this little diatribe about how dolphins and tuna swim together, and they're too caught up in all their playful banter to notice a big net in the water. They get caught together, they get chopped up, put in a can together. Now what I'm actually eating is a dolphin. I look this guy in his eyes, I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, man, but I've been eating tuna for years, and it turns out I think dolphins are delicious. Need 90% more blowhole per can of albacore, I think. What's with that? What's with the loving the animals? Man, we don't love ourselves. Who gives a shit about a dolphin? I'll tell you who doesn't. Yum. To me. I don't give a shit. And I'll tell you another thing. A ridiculous thing to care about, man. People love to care about stuff that doesn't matter and stuff that's completely out of their control. You know, people worry about crazy stuff. I'll walk on the street and you see homeless people are a lot of places. Now, that's a big concern to me. I'm one punchline away from panhandling. My heart goes out to these people, you know. And I see people get all in the huff when they walk by a homeless person. And you walk all wide around them, you know what I mean? Like, homeless is gonna jump off onto you or something. Oh, I feel bored. You know, I heard this the other day on the street. Get a job. It's one of those crusty, when I talk about homeless people, first, I'm talking about real homeless people, the old crazy crusty dudes. I'm not talking about the little squeezy kids. Hit the gas, run over those little pricks, I don't care. I'm talking about the soldiers that are there every year, like, how'd you make it through winter? Beep, beep, I don't know. That guy. People walking by him going, get a job, get a job. That's the stupidest thing you could say to him. Like, you want him working with you? You want Dirty Eddie bringing you chicken wings? That's what you want? Ugh. I'll give some of those people money. I'll give homeless people money if I got it. Sure. My friend's like, why'd you give that guy a toonie? He's just gonna get some drink or some drugs with it. I'm like, where? If he can find that deal, I'm going with him. I got $10 right here. Me and Dirty Eddie are staying out all weekend, you know what I mean? Besides, when I gave him the toonie, that's what I wanted him to use it for, to get high, to get lifted, to take the edge off of sleeping on pavement, okay? I'm under no false illusions as to what this guy's gonna do with my $2. Like he's gonna take it and have some sort of entrepreneurial epiphany. Earth-shattering moment. With this toonie, I can start a savings account. Collect enough interest over the next 37 years and buy some new foil for the top of this shithouse box I've been sleeping in. People's heads, man. We mock the homeless openly. I don't know if you noticed that. I noticed these things. I heard a news report. It's very mean, upset me. News report said there's a deranged man wandering the streets of Toronto stabbing homeless people. I thought that's terrible, man, for two reasons. First of all, someone's stabbing homeless people. Second of all, the only people who know about this guy are people with homes. It's like a pie in the face to the afflicted party, you know what I mean? I'm trying to lean on my balcony trying to explain the situation. Like, run, bum, run! There's a deranged man with a knife out there. You don't know about him, because I got a TV, you don't. We don't got time to talk about this. I'm a have, you're a have not. Anyway, I'll push the cart, you carry the cans, let's move! We live in a dangerous world, people. It's scary to be out there, being an adult. Making love. All kinds of creepy stuff that'll get you. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm real scared to get sick. I'm scared because I have a nasty sexual history, too. I'm scared of AIDS. Anybody scared of AIDS? Scary. Scary. AIDS. Mostly I'm superstitious about it, like it's hiding around the corner going, do you hear him making a joke about us? Let's go hide inside that hooker. We'll fill him. I think everybody should be a little afraid of AIDS, especially everybody in this room, because I'm looking at you. Everybody in here has had sex with somebody that they shouldn't have. We've all done it. I'm willing to wager every adult in their adult life has done something sexually that they're not proud of and they question immediately. Oh. I know it's true for me. Oh, man, I've climbed off a girl and then run to the clinic. always happens, you know, those moments, you know, is you got to go get tested these days, and you never want to go. No one ever wants to go. It's all that fear gets up in you, and then you go, you know? Because what happens is you have one of those fateful nights where you have too much to drink. You might consume some narcotics you've never done before, and you hook up with somebody, and sparks are flying, and before you know it, you're wet and sticky and crazy, and you're biting each other, and you're going in this way, and who's on top, you know, and it's great, and it's magical and terrific. And you wake up in the morning wet, sticky, and confused. You look over at your mistake, and what do? You fuck them again, because you already got what you're gonna get. Why not take that bike around the block for another spin, you know what I mean? Then you always have that friend, you know, that voice of reason. Be like, hey man, did you take that girl home last night? That one I saw you with? Yeah, oh yeah. Woo! You didn't do her, did you? Yeah, oh yeah, I did, of course. Of course, that's what I do. You shouldn't have done that, man. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. A dick thing to say, you know? Now you're questioning, why? Well, why? Why? I'd get checked if I were you. I'd totally get tested. Why would you get tested? No, I gotta go for sure. You know, you go, and I don't know if anybody's ever gone to get an AIDS test before. It's the scariest thing I think you'll do to yourself, because number one, you gotta walk in this place, and you're vulnerable, and you're looking at the ceiling, and you try not to make eye contact with anybody. You sit down around this table. It's got all this literature and this medi-centers, right, with all the stuff you could have. By the time you leave the clinic, you've already convinced yourself you got 7 of the 10 diseases you read about. You're tickling my throat, my nuts are gone. What happened? You go back into that little room and you get an AIDS test, you know, and you got to get your blood taken and stuff. And that's the scary part for me. In Canada, they do a weird thing. They put a rubber hose around your arm, and then the nurse unsheaths this needle and then looks you in the eye as the needle's pointed at you, and she goes, "Can I take your blood?" like you're gonna go, what are you gonna do if I say no? Like stab you and take your wallet, you know? Yeah, take my blood. Let's get this shit over with, you know? And then they take your blood, and you're like, "Okay, so how'd it work out?" Right? And they're like, "Okay, well, see you next week when we know." You're like, "Excuse me, hold on one sec. Did you say a week? For me to question everything I've ever done in my life? Sexually, I got a week to mull over all that. Awesome, good. I'll be right back here in a week. I can't wait." That week plays havoc on your imagination. At least it did for me, man. Day 3, I'd already convinced myself I was dying. I packed in my tent. I had a shaved head. I was wearing paper shoes and a terry robe all over. Try to relax, sit down, watch a movie. All that's on is Philadelphia. I was like, I'm dying. I'm going to bed. There's no use. I get back to the doctor's office a week later. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" Tell me the bad news, man. He's like, "All right, you're allergic to cheese." Jesus Christ. Think you had AIDS or something? Yeah. Recently, it scared me the most about AIDS is that it's mutated. There's a new strain of the AIDS virus out called Super AIDS. Now AIDS has a cape. I think you were in trouble before, boy. That was a happy topic. I watch a lot of TV when I'm on the road. A lot of television, mostly so I can yell at the television. I don't know if anybody's got something like that in their life. You've got a radio show or a television show that you might want to yell at, but I yell at the television just to hear myself. I yell at Survivor. Because it's ridiculous. They call it Survivor. These people have to get food, fire, and shelter. That's camping. Next, the show drags out for 38 episodes. You know what I mean? That's a long time to wait for $1 million, but coincidentally, which is the prize, right? That's a long time to wait. Now, I don't know about you people, but You put me on an island with 15 other people for $1 million. No one's waking up for episode 2 but me. I'll be real nice in the helicopter on the way down. Like, hi, Cindy, can't wait to go fishing with you. Yeah, try bunga bunga. Woo! Later that day, down by the river. I'll put your torch out. Here's something that gets my goat. A lot of people have been coming down on athletes recently, for doing steroids. Now, I'm on the opposite side here. I could care less if athletes do steroids. I think that when athletes do steroids, they do really good at their sport. So it's hard for me to say, take it away and then watch mediocrity earn $7 million, you know what I mean? I want to see a guy with an inflated salary just say, screw it, man, I'm on the juice. I want to see athletes so into steroids that they can only do their event once. That'll blow sports wide open, man. I want to see Barry Bonds own it. Yeah, I'm on roids. Step up to the plate, just squeezing the bat handle so hard sawdust is flaking off of it, you know? Eyes bloodshot, veins coming out of his neck, grinding in his teeth. Fillings are chipping out of his head. He's making that sound. Crushes the leather casing off the ball. Doesn't even run the bases. Nuh-uh, just picks up the catcher. And... You know what I mean? Wouldn't you be entertained then? He's earning his money now. I want to see that. I want to see excitement in sports. I want to see a guy with one nut win the Tour de France 7 times. Why not? Mostly I want to see steroids in sports for the 100-meter dash in the Olympics. That's my favorite sporting event to watch. It's all cocky and crazy, and these guys are so quick, and it happens, and they're obviously on steroids. Have been since they started breaking records. These guys are juiced out of their head. Remember Ben Johnson when he broke the record? I was a little kid. I didn't even know what high meant, but I was like, he's high. Remember seeing his eyes? He almost fell on his face coming out of the blocks and still ran away with it, you know? I want to see these guys just huddled up, sitting at the 100-meter dash, getting ready to start, you know, just foaming at the mouth. Just... Drools flaking off these guys, you know? And then, like, one of them spooks, like, at the horse track, you know what I mean? His trainer's bumping back into the block. And the gun goes off. Pow! Guy in lane 3 comes out of the block so hard he breaks the laces on his cleats. Just pow! Doesn't even touch track for the first 10 meters. Just hits the ground, no discernible running style. Just pulling away from everybody. Lightning speed, his leg fractures because it can't handle it. Starts cartwheeling around. Son. Crosses the line in 6 seconds. The whole world stunned, awed. Holy shit! His trainers come out and taser him. They push him in a cage and huck a piece of meat at his face while he starts biting his arm. Oh, Canada. Yeah, like we'd win a medal. Thank you very much, everybody.